Alright, it's that time of year again. It is time for me to make my predictions for what is coming to Six Flags in 2017. I'll be making my predictions for all of their parks, and we will see if they come true. A lot of the times, I am not correct with these, but that is totally okay. It's all in good fun. So let's start with Six Flags Magic Mountain. Now, there is a clearing going on by Riddler's Revenge. I actually got a chance to go ahead and take a look at the spot when I visited the park this past year. And it is a pretty large clearing, and originally one of the thoughts was it'd be for a Justice League Dark Ride. But I'm going to go ahead and say that I do not think that is what is coming. I think it is going to be a nice flat ride package, something like what Six Flags Over Texas got this year. Something like a Zamperla Frisbee like Riddler Revenge. Obviously they'd have to pick a different name, but that's the same idea. And then probably one of those second generation Enterprises, and maybe a couple other flats, because Magic Mountain really needs some good flat rides, and this would be a big improvement to the park. They could give them DC themes and everything. It'd also be really nice if they could throw in a Sky Screamer as one of those attractions. A swing ride would be absolutely perfect for that park. Next, we have Great Adventure in Over Georgia, both of which are going to be receiving a Justice League Battle for Metropolis Dark Ride. And this isn't really a prediction because we actually know it's going to happen. Both parks filed for a permit to add the building for it. Both of them have the space cleared already, so we already know that it's going to happen. Over Georgia's will be going right where their bumper cars were, and Great Adventures is going to go where the chiller was. Next, we have Six Flags Great America. And ever since they removed Ragin' Cajun, every year following, I have always made a prediction that something is going to go where that ride once was. Since the building is still up, the queue line is still there. And since every year I'm wrong and that space is still empty, why stop with tradition? Next year, I am going to say they're going to add a super loop that is going to go where Ragin' Cajun once was. In years past, I've thought it was going to be a Sky Screamer, but I'm thinking this time it's actually going to be a super loop. Six Flags has been adding these at their parks for 2 years now, so it'd make perfect sense for them to add some more next year, and Great America wouldn't be a bad location for one. And they could even give it a Mardi Gras theme so they don't have to change a whole lot. I could totally see something like that happening. Next, we have Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and this is a tough one. And it's only tough because Jeffrey Siebert, who is one of the head guys at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, posted this photo with a survey marker on top of the quarry wall with hashtag 2017 and captioned it, "View looks pretty good up here." Through Google Earth, I've been able to pinpoint approximately where he was standing, and it is a very difficult location for me to pinpoint what sort of attraction could go there because the options are kind of limited. Because it's on top of the wall, it's not going to be a flat ride. They aren't going to build a flat ride up there because how are the guests going to get there? And I would say some sort of zip line that takes you up to the top, but they already have that. So what can they have start at the bottom and go up to the quarry and back down? A roller coaster would do that. So that brings us to the question, would Six Flags add a roller coaster here after they just got Batman the Ride not too long ago? And if that's the case, what sort of attraction would they add here? Because they already have an RMC and they already have an SNS 4D free spin, which are the two types of rides that Six Flags has been adding lately. So, what sort of thing would they do there? And then also you have to think of the space that they are working with, because approximately where that picture was taken, it's right above where they do their Lone Star Nights projection during the summer. So I'm not sure if this ride would affect that or not, or if Fiesta Texas would want that to be affected, because that is a really cool event they do every night. And I'm going to assume that that is the location of where the 2017 attraction is going to be because there is a survey marker in that picture. Now, it's possible that Jeffrey could be messing with us, but something tells me that he's right. So I'm just going to go out on a limb and make my prediction. I'm going to say they're going to be adding a B&M next year. Will they? Probably not. But why not? It's a prediction video. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it because if I end up being right, then you guys are going to be like, how on earth did you predict that? Now, if we're talking B&M here, the last B&M that Six Flags added was X-Flight at Six Flags Great America. And that was quite a few years ago, so they haven't added one since, but it's certainly possible that they could add another one. Now, what B&M would work best at this park? My first gut would say a Hyper, but I don't know if that is going to happen or not. Since they added a wing coaster already, I think a wing coaster would fit here pretty well. Although technically Batman the Ride has winged seats, so in a way that's kind of a wing coaster, but this is going to be a completely different experience. And then there's also the idea of a dive coaster, which besides the option of a Hyper, I think that this would be the second best option for Fiesta Texas, because you could literally have it dive off of the quarry wall. And I think that that'd be a really neat attraction. but I have no idea how they would make it fit in that space that we showed you. But then again, I'm not sure how you could fit any roller coaster in that space. And we haven't exactly seen Six Flags add a dive coaster at one of their parks before, so this would be a first, and it'd be the only one in the region. So to just wrap this all up, I'm not sure exactly what type of B&M Fiesta Texas could add, but I am going to make the prediction that I think that Fiesta Texas will add a B&M coaster that will interact with the quarry wall next year. I might be way wrong, but if I am, that is totally okay. Next, let's go over to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. And this is tough because this park has a 150-foot height limit, so it's kind of tricky predicting what would go here. Now, of course, an S&S 4D free spin would be within that height limit, and I think eventually they will get one of those attractions, but I don't think it's going to be next year. They just got the Joker this year. They're not getting a coaster next year. But what would be a good fit here is a drop tower. Yes, it would only be 150 feet high, but like an Intamin or S&S drop tower would be absolutely a perfect fit at this park. That's a major type of attraction that they are missing. If they don't do that, then maybe they'll do a Zamperla Frisbee. That would also work. Now, combined into one segment, I have over Texas, New England, and St. Louis. All three of which I'm going to say are going to be getting an S&S 4D free spin. Now let's talk about location for all of these, because I have a specific location in mind for where these are going to go at each of these parks. Starting with over Texas, I think that their 4D free spin is going to go by Riddler Revenge. They already have a fence up, they have some space back there. It would absolutely work, and they could give it a DC theme, and it would be all good. Moving over to New England, there have been rumors that Splashwater Falls is going to bite the dust. That is a narrow strip of land that Six Flags New England could absolutely fit a 4D free spin there. And with Six Flags St. Louis, this I think has two possible locations, Tidal Wave or their Boomerang. Yes, I'm predicting one of those two rides is going to bite the dust. Now, it is possible that Six Flags St. Louis could find a location for this where they don't have to remove anything. But if they have to remove an attraction, I could see Tidal Wave leaving, but I could also see their Boomerang leaving because it just had an accident where it derailed. And so it's been closed for a while. And I wouldn't be surprised if Six Flags St. Louis doesn't want it anymore, even though they haven't had it for very long, and they decide to send it to another Six Flags park. Keep in mind, this was already at Six Flags over Texas, and yes, I am predicting that they might send it to another Six Flags park. I'm not saying that that's necessarily going to happen, but it wouldn't really surprise me. Now, what Six Flags park would they send it to? The dumping ground of all Six Flags parks, probably Six Flags America. Now, should they not receive Six Flags St. Louis's Boomerang, I could see Six Flags America getting like a Looney Tunes expansion, a couple of kids rides, retheme it to Bugs Bunny Boomtown or something like that. And next we have Six Flags Mexico and La Ronde, both of which I think are going to be getting a Larson's Super Loop. I know over at La Ronde we would all love to see the monster get RMC'd, but if that were going to happen, we would have heard it was closing by now. And frankly, I don't think any RMC conversions are going to be coming to Six Flags next year. It doesn't even sound to me like any RMCs period are coming to Six Flags next year. I'd love to be proven wrong, but that's just what it sounds like to me, and I certainly would be surprised if an RMC is announced for Six Flags next year. And finally, we have The Great Escape. And why do I get the feeling that they're not going to be getting anything large either? They haven't gotten anything huge in years, so why start now? Maybe a kiddie ride or two. They just got a Super Loop, so probably not a thrilling flat ride. Maybe a water park expansion? By water park expansion, I mean maybe a kiddie splash pad. But frankly, I'd be surprised if they got anything huge too. So those are my predictions for Six Flags next year. I think we're really going to have some cool attractions, a lot of free spins, a couple of Justice League dark rides, maybe a B&M, who knows? And I think we'll definitely see some flat rides, and I am very interested in seeing how much of this actually comes true. So let me know if you agree or disagree with me in the comment section below, and post your thoughts on what Six Flags is going to be adding next year. Six Flags is going to be making their 2017 announcements on September 1st, so make sure to look forward to that. I'll be posting my breakdown of all of their attractions when that is announced. But until then, these are my predictions.